manipulate us by those secrets. In essence, they still remain 25 years at least ahead of us in technology, information, and knowledge and secrets, and they are using them against us. I heard over the years many times over that the plan to usher in the New World Order would be to make all the people in this country and around the world feel totally helpless to prevent the New World Order from occurring, this world dominance plan. That's saying that we had been invaded by aliens, so that we would say, oh, please, UN, come in and help us all. So bear in mind that there is a planned orchestration to get people to be submissive through the secret technology and information that they're keeping from you under the blanket of the so-called National Security Act that's threatening the security of our nation.
You're being programmed since the second you're born in front of a television set, movies and everything else to get totally different. So all you're doing is being programmed to stay in the physical dimension. I mean, the final conflict that these guys have to set up in motion, when we get to reducing the world's population, then they're going to have this organized group. I mean, the New World Order is a socialist dictatorship, just so you know. And what happens is that they're going to supposedly get the army to fight the common enemy from space, and that's the ETs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what the final conflict's going to be all about. I mean, you go right down by some of the movies that way. Wake up, guys. You're in a huge play. You know, it's like William Shakespeare said, the whole world's the stage and we're just the players on this thing, which is actually correct.
So if you don't want to be panicked and stampeded by this phony threat from space, then you'll study the UFO issue and you'll find out the truth about the issue. And then when they say, oh, no, there really are aliens and they're coming to eat you, you have to give up all the rest of your liberty so we can protect you, you can say, nah, I don't think so.
Question, can you tell us about UFOs?
My sister, before my wife came around, used to be leader of the state of Ohio, the high priestess there of the whole state. And her little pastime was calling up, supposedly filling the sky with UFOs and watching everybody's excitement. And some of the most outstanding sightings were in the early 70s in Ohio. And she used to laugh about it, because she'd be standing in a circle out in the field somewhere calling up demons. And that's all they were angels of light playing games in the sky. Remember, a demon, get the little spooky picture. There are a fallen angel, an unclean spirit. They can assume any form or go into anything, but they can assume forms, including spacemen or solid objects like flying saucers or so on. That's why when they appear on the radar scope and a jet gets up there, they vanish right in front of the palisade, because they're nothing but a spirit.
The government has secrets that they can keep from us.
They never die.
My question that I give to every podcast hoster and everyone who's in the room is, why would a nation consisted of over 330 million people give the power to the average public person or citizen who they don't believe is intelligent enough to tie their own damn shoes to put a person in office who is going to affect their lives and yours?
Yes.
If they don't think you are smart enough to even know what you're eating or reading labels, why would I give you the power to put somebody in there who's going to mess up my life?
Yes.
We have to think here.
Yes.
To vote means to wish, etymologically.
Yes.
So if you just say vote, 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 you are a fool. I'll just say it that way. If you don't put money behind your candidate, you will not get one. What you will get is a person who looks like they're going to fight for you, but they are fighting for the person who pays them.
Yes.
That's how this goes. The number one thing you must do when it comes to looking at specifically presidential candidates is who is funding them.
And now you get what's called artificial intelligence. It's called artificial intelligence because it's the literal mind and spirit and soul of an actual being. That's why it's called intelligence. It's just put there because the individual is no longer naturally connected to their natural vessel or have natural control over their functioning as spirit, soul, mind. They are now hooked up to a computer. So that's why it's considered artificial intelligence. But notice how smart Alexa is. Notice how smart Siri is. Like, how the fuck do they know this shit? How can I just ask them anything and they go on the spot? You can train Siri to say whatever you want her to say. Alexa too. What do you think they're using on TikTok? When you're using all the voices and you got the voice saying what you want to say, that's artificial intelligence, AI. But Alexa probably was Patrice Jones, who got kidnapped 15 years ago. And they removed her consciousness out of her body and put it inside of a computer. And now you have Alexa. Siri was probably Katrina Stone, who was kidnapped 5 years ago. And they removed her and put her inside of a damn iPhone. Now you have Siri. The artificial, and this is why artificial intelligence is so intelligent. It's actual, somebody's actual conscious, their mind. And there's no limit to the mind. The mind created everything. You just don't know how powerful the mind is, but they do. That's why they send you to school young and they program you. Because the brain ain't shit but a computer. So they program your brain to run like they want it to run, because if they don't program the brain, then your mind will program your brain. And your mind is separate from the brain. The brain is a physical thing. The mind is a spiritual thing. The mind is a part of the spirit and the soul.
There was some strange shit going on between Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. I mean, really strange. The kind of strange that made me question, what did Mike really mean when he called Diana dirty? And if you think I'm implying what I'm not explicitly stating, you're right. And today I wanted to bring it to your attention, if you haven't already heard about this shit. Now, mind you, this is a woman who met Michael Jackson when he was just 9 years old, and she would have been 23 at the time. So what their relationship eventually grew to be is just strange. But because she's Diana Ross and he's Michael Jackson, this just completely flew right under the radar. Now, we all know double standards exist, but let's just keep it a sieg. Y'all know damn well if the shoe was on the other foot and it was Michael, who was 14 years her senior and knew her since she was a 9-year-old little girl, y'all would have had a fit. And nobody would have a hard time labeling him a groomer.
Like him. Now, you know, Michael and I, we're in love and there's nothing to do about it. There's nothing to say. So,
Now, over the years, people speculated that because Diana Ross was the woman that took Michael Jackson's virginity, this is why he developed an obsession for her. Whether it was in his music or in his books or in his interviews, it was clear that Michael Jackson just couldn't get enough of Diana Ross. And to be fair, she fawned over him in her interviews as well. But because she was an older woman, she wasn't as careless and forthcoming about their relationship as Michael had been. So while Mike is going Diana, Diana, Diana in all his interviews, because she's older, she knows how to keep some level of decorum and mystery with regards to their relationship. Like this interview, she talked about it, she addressed it, but there was still some level of ambiguity. I mean, this interview could have easily been chalked up to her being facetious when she said she was in love with a boy that she met when he was 9. A little boy who she took in and became a surrogate mother to. But fuck that for right now. We'll get into this more in another part. Diana Ross got married to some Norwegian businessman in 1986, and Michael Jackson hated it. He was rumored to have been deeply jealous. As far as he was concerned, Diana was always going to be the lady in his life. That is until Mike got closer to Elizabeth Taylor in the mid to late 80s. Shit, he even bailed on a dinner date with Diana Ross just to be with Elizabeth Taylor. Diana hit him up, Elizabeth hit him up, and Mike tried to be funny and combine the two dates, but Diana wasn't having that shit. So here we are. It's 1986 at the Video Music Awards, and Diana Ross and Sidney Poitier present Michael Jackson with an award. Now, I want you all to pay attention to how Michael Jackson looks at Diana Ross and Lionel Richie when Diana Ross goes to embrace Lionel Richie. Now, of course, the pettiness didn't end there, and I want you all to pay attention to all the shady shit that was going down while these three people were on stage. Now, mind you, pay attention, because the only three people you should be checking for on this stage is Michael Jackson, Elizabeth Taylor, and Diana Ross.
All right. Is everybody coming up? Yeah. All right. We are the world. We children. Elizabeth, we are the ones to make a brighter day. Sing along, would you? There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives.
Now, by the end of this performance, Diana Ross had gotten completely in between Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Taylor. Her messy and married catty ass just had to break this shit up because she just didn't like what she was seeing. See, she knew Michael Jackson was too young to ever really take seriously, which is why she married other people. But that don't mean that she wanted him talking to anybody else. Stay tuned for part 2, where I'll be diving into more speculation surrounding the two and why people side-eye Diana Ross about this Michael Jackson shit.
My grandmother would have told me, and my grandmother is not black. That's the God's honest truth. My grandmother, Indian. No black in my grandmother at all.
Like from India?
Indian.
Native American.
Straight up and down. Like, identical, right? And that's how that whole spill came about. So when I answered, I'm like, nah, like my grandmother, my mom, ain't nobody never told me about nobody from Alabama. I don't have family from Alabama.
But they were talking just specifically as the black community.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm one of the ones who never speak up on politics like that. I'm one of the ones, so even when stuff goes down, I get a lot of people that hit me saying, you need to say something. Or they'll go to Floyd Mayweather, you flash this, but you don't do nothing. And you need to say something. And then it's like, if I say something, y'all gonna kill me for it. If I don't say something for it, y'all gonna kill me for it. But I'm just basing the facts. I wasn't alive in the early 1900s. I wasn't alive for that.
We living in the final hour, bubs. Actors playing a role. But guess, like, all of this is only happening because of Black Americans as the real children of Israel. Literally. Don't let these people fool you. They're all in the same thing. They are all on the same team. It's the Psalms 83 Confederation. The Gentile nations, right? The Gentile nations versus the children of Israel. We are living in the final hour, minute. I don't know. But we living in the final hour. Everything they do, right? The focus always goes back towards God's real chosen people, Black Americans, because we are the ones, the Black American man with his queen, the Black woman. But the Black American man will be the judge, jury, and executioner. All of the theatricals and, I studied acting. I know a great improv when I see it. It's all an illusion. These people, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. These people, their time is done. All praise to the Most High.
Bro, what am I hearing on my radio? This shit creeping me the fuck out. Nigga. What the fuck, nigga? I'm cutting this shit off, bro. That's...
So there are phenomena that are emerging from other dimensions that occasionally interface with this dimension of 3D space-time, and people will call them alien, but they're not. A lot of people will see something like that, and there is evidence for like Stranger Things, right? And those can be from another dimension, but they're not extraterrestrial. An extraterrestrial biological entity is from another star system and planet. To go from point A to B, they are dropping out of linear space-time and traversing other dimensions. So some of the phenomenon that's extraterrestrial looks very, very close to something from another dimension.
Gresh never said extraterrestrial or alien, he said interdimensional. I think that that's incredibly important. They're not necessarily a biological entity from another planet per se.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats.
I just want to clarify here, you bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals.
They have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Crime here is up and through the roof, despite their fraudulent statements that they made.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I said that sarcastically. You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it.
I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisker. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this, you and your allies, 60 cases in front of many judges, many of them
no
Republican.
Judge looked at it
and said
they
there was
said
no
we didn't have
widespread
standing.
fraud.
If you looked black, they wrote Cherokee Freedman. If you looked not black, they wrote Cherokee.
Many freedmen were of mixed Cherokee and African blood, but on the rolls they were listed with no Indian blood. Last month, it all went to federal court.
I was restored as a member of the Cherokee Nation.
A settlement has let the freedmen back into the tribe for now. The descendants can vote in the election for the Cherokee chief, but there's no guarantee that they'll get to stay in the tribe. Reporting for In America, Soledad O'Brien, CNN.
Stand up.
She said she killed two kids.
Stand up. Put your hands behind your back. Someone got rubber gloves. She's covered in blood. What about you got gloves? You got rubber gloves. Yeah, check other ones. So you have a right to remain silent on anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney if you can't afford one, won't be appointed to you at state's expense. You have a right to have that attorney present during any questioning. You have a right to stop answering any questions once they begin. Do you understand your rights? Do you understand? Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Get in there. It's ridiculous.
She gave her kids to somebody, you know what I mean, to try to get herself right mentally.
So she doesn't have her kids because she was telling people she killed them.
No, she never killed her kids. Her kids were with a family member. She sent them to somebody to try to get herself together.
Mm-hmm.
That person she sent them with was fucking beat her.
Mm-hmm.
And went somewhere else.
Okay.
So,
I don't know yet. Judy said they would, and they'll hold the cat as evidence. She destroyed that cat. This is fucked. I told him, I don't like him anymore. As long as she had cat hair on her mouth. As long as I've been a policeman, I've never had a call where someone was eating a cat.
I hope it's not set the mood for Friday night.
There was polyandry. And polyandry was the woman had multiple partners. Before there was polygamy, there was polyandry. And polyandry was The woman had multiple partners. And as the time went on and the ratio of men fell below a certain percentage, it was the woman that produced a form of polyandry to the male in the aspect of polygamy, so that they could have a balance, so her sisters could have access to males that not males in the society when things fell to a certain level, and this is not disturb the equilibrium.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
You say that. That goes into it's almost like being conscious out here. There's not too many. It's an imbalance.
Right.
I heard last night when you were talking, a sister said there's more conscious men than there are women. And most of the conscious men go after, well, that's a whole lot of shit. Conscious men go after sisters that ain't conscious.
Right, yeah.
You know, that's some deep shit. So,
yeah.
Would that be for conscious sisters to have more? I don't know, man.
We're at an age of enlightenment where all things should be considered.
Right.
You know, we don't deal with taboos because taboos is what got us here in the first place.
Right.
So my point here is, it shouldn't be that inconceivable when we have sisters that mess around anyway, just like we got brothers that mess around anyway. The key here is to build an equilibrium or ecological system of honesty. That she can get, both the male and the female can get used to the idea of somebody else. And also, too, this can neutralize the jealousy aspect.
This is how I travel the world and run my business with Shopify.
Yo, so the secret is out. So the reason that the Indians have put in place, the Indian tribes, right? Because their DNA do not match up with the Y chromosome. So when you say haplogroup or anything with DNA, they don't want you to do that.
Land belonged to us. We go abandon our land. We were here when they got here. They just reclassified us as Indian. And the ones that didn't want to go on the reservations, they put them on the plantation and called us. The ones that didn't want to go on the reservation, they put them on the plantation and classified them as. The rest of them got reclassified as Indians.
Now, y'all, I was at work today and one of my coworkers was like, you know they built a portal downtown. And I'm like, oh, really? A portal? And they say it's for art, okay? But where they built it at is in a very isolated area, and it is not, you don't see no other art around it, right? It's just the only thing by itself. So, check this out. Y'all see this? Now, I'm finna go up here and show y'all because it's like it's on some type of hill, like a mound. That's energy. And what y'all gotta understand is I think it's more to this. And he said it was built out of electricity and earth. The energy has been really high here in the Midwest. And that's what it takes to open up a portal. And I believe it's much more to this portal than they are telling us. Now I'm finna show y'all, it's on some type of hill, like I said, a mound. See, look at this. Energy, wow. Ooh. This is my thoughts, right? Y'all know that we used to have portals like this that existed everywhere. And they took a lot of these portals down and put them up, okay? Because they couldn't walk through these portals. And these portals work off your genetics. Just my thoughts. What if they claiming that this is some type of art, right? But what if it's bigger than that? What if they finna start putting these portals back out, and because the energy has increased on the planet, and they know what's coming, and they thinking that if we open them up, they can get through. But it's based off genetics. They're not gonna be able to make it through these portals. And so, just my thoughts, like, what if they are putting these out here claiming that they are art, but they are not just art, they are real portals? Because why would you build something like this in an isolated area on a hill that looked like a mound? Make it make sense. And these mounds are energy. And these mounds are a connection between the physical realm and the spiritual world. So you got a portal sitting right on top of some type of hill, and you telling me that this is just art? It's something much more to this portal. And I believe that they are putting these portals back out, and they're going to try to say it's art. But in all actuality, these are real portals. And I don't care what nobody say. They putting these back out because they know what's finna get ready to happen, and they know that the energy has increased on the planet. And that's what's going to open these portals up. But what they don't know is a lot of them are not making it through these portals because it's based off your genetics. I have to come down here to see this for myself. Tell me what you guys think about this. What's your thoughts on this?